Shane Warne, Mark Waugh, two Australian cricketing giants, heroes of the 90s. But behind the brilliance, a secret deal was struck in a Colombo hotel room. A deal that Cricket Australia would keep hidden for 4 long years. This is the story of John the Bookmaker and the cover-up that almost broke Australian cricket. September 1994. The Australian team was in Sri Lanka for the Singer World Series, staying at the luxurious Oberoi Hotel in Colombo. There was a casino in close proximity to the hotel, which Waugh and Warne visited. Team manager Colin Egar warned them that the venue was unsavoury, but he was vague in his comments, and at that time, casinos were not perceived as trouble spots or traps for unwary cricketers. Among the bustling lobby and the humid Colombo nights was a man known only as John the Bookmaker. He wasn't some shady figure in an alleyway. He mingled casually with players, charming, well-dressed and always ready with cash. Mark Waugh was his initial target. John approached him privately, striking up a friendly conversation. Soon, he made an offer, detailed information on pitch and weather conditions in exchange for money. Waugh hesitated, but the deal was simple and seemingly harmless. He accepted $4,000. Waugh also agreed to introduce John to Shane Warne. The meeting took place at the casino near the team's hotel. The trio chatted as Warne was playing roulette. He had a bad night and lost $5,000. John introduced himself to Warne as a person who bet on cricket matches. The next day, he invited Warne to his hotel room and, describing himself as a big fan, flattered Warne's leg-spinning abilities. Warne accepted a $5,000 gift with no strings attached, which covered his gambling losses. Warne reported that he initially rejected the gift but accepted the offer at the insistence of John, who said that he would be offended if the offer was declined. Warne later lost this money at the casino. Warne wrote in his autobiography that John told him he was a wealthy man and that the payment was a token of his appreciation, having made money by betting on Australian victories in the past. But the truth was, John was collecting intel, buying small edges in the world of illegal betting. At first, both brushed it off as nothing serious. After all, it wasn't match fixing, just harmless info. But guilt crept in. They realized the optics. What if it got out? They hadn't told the team, the coach or the board. In early 1995, whispers of betting scandals swirled in cricket. Under pressure, both men admitted their dealings in unsigned statements to the Australian Cricket Board. The punishment? A quiet slap on the wrist. Warne fined $8,000. Waugh fined $10,000. No suspensions, no public announcement. The ACB's reasoning was cold and calculated. If the truth came out, Warne and Waugh's credibility would collapse, especially dangerous since they were star witnesses in match-fixing allegations against Pakistan's captain Saleem Malik. Protecting Australian cricket's image mattered more than transparency. So the scandal was buried. Not even the coach or teammates were told. For 4 years, the secret lived only in whispers behind closed doors. It all came crashing down in December 1998. Investigative journalist Malcolm Conn got wind of the story. The ACB panicked, issued a vague statement. Yes, 2 players had been fined back in 1995, but no names. That didn't hold. The very next day, Conn dropped the bombshell. The players were none other than Shane Warne and Mark Waugh. Fans felt betrayed. At the Adelaide Oval, Mark Waugh was booed by home fans as he walked out to bat. A surreal moment for one of Australia's golden boys. The backlash post-action. The ACB appointed Rob O'Regan to investigate. His findings? The fines were far too lenient. Suspensions would have been justified. He condemned Warne and Waugh's actions as reckless and damaging to cricket's integrity. Meanwhile, Pakistan, whose captain Saleem Malik had been accused of bribery, demanded answers. Both Australians testified before a commission in early 1999, admitting what had happened. The scandal didn't end their careers, but it left a permanent scar. Both men were seen differently, not as corrupt, but as careless, naive, and shielded by their board. The O'Regan inquiry led to stronger anti-corruption measures in Australian cricket, including education programs for players. And John the Bookmaker, his real identity was never confirmed. To this day, he remains a ghost in cricket's darkest files. A few $1,000s, a little bit of harmless info, and two of cricket's biggest stars were trapped in a scandal that shook the game.